Have you ever felt torn between the different priorities in your life, thinking that you have to choose one path? For example, deciding that you can be healthy or happy, that you can have success and have just a successful business or career, or have a life. What if I told you you don't have to choose? You can run a successful business and be healthy. You can be a mom and excellent in your business. You can pursue multiple passions and priorities without compromising. Sometimes the hardest part at that point is figuring out what those things are that you value the most, those key priorities that you want to focus on. Today, I'm going to share with you how learning to embrace the power of and continues to transform my business and life. And you'll definitely want to stick around because I'll be sharing the framework that I've developed that'll help you do the same. Because we're done thinking that we have to choose one thing or the other because that doesn't serve us, that doesn't help us, and it just creates this limiting box that we don't deserve to be in, that we can break free of. So let's dive in and discover how to become the thriving business owner you always knew you could be. Hello, friend. I'm Kendra, and you've tuned into the Invisible to Invincible podcast, where passionately driven business owners share their journeys from hidden gems to industry leaders. Together, we'll uncover the secrets, mental shifts, and visibility strategies that turn these hidden gems into undeniable forces. So hit that subscribe button and let's dive in. Over the past few years, I have really been focused on my health. I didn't realize that I had embodied this idea of I can be healthy or have a successful business. You see, in the past, I put everything I had into starting my business and getting it off the ground. And it would be 60, 70, 80, 90-hour weeks sometimes if you had travel in there. And naturally, my health would suffer. I would work, get laid off, and then take some time to regroup, heal, and then go back and do it again. And it was the cycle that I had created in my life that suddenly with my own business wasn't serving me. I couldn't lay myself off. Instead, I put all of my energy into healing and handling my current clients because that's all I could do. I also put that healing into the relationships in my life, into the people that were so important to me. I reevaluated my values and my priorities and my goals and said, okay, this is what I want. I don't have to decide between being healthy or having a successful business. I can have both. I can be healthy and have a successful business and have those relationships and those things in my life that are most important to me that make doing everything else really worth it. It was the power of changing that thinking from or to and that really was the difference that made the difference. I honestly had no idea how many things I was limiting myself on by thinking that I could only have this or that. And how often do we internalize those ideas from society that we can only do this or that? We can only be this or that. We can only have this or that. When I realized that I can cross off that or and make it an and, so many more doors and ideas opened up. It's funny because for a good part of my career, I've worked in technology and I've worked in regulated industries like, education, cannabis, CBD, all of those financial services. And in doing so, it really became important to start to look at not what we can't do, but what if we could do it? What would have to happen in order for us to do something? And I would teach people how to flip their thinking to go from looking at what's not possible to looking at what is possible. But you know what? Transparency, I forgot to do that for myself. I forgot to look at what's possible for me. I bought into I have to focus, focus, focus on my business. I have to put everything in. I have to work hard to be successful. And that mindset and those ideas and behaviors that I saw embodied by my parents when they had their business and worked 7 days a week, 12-hour days, I saw it in other employees. I saw it in the expectations of me. I needed to work harder and be better than those around me in order to be successful, in order to be respected, in order to get these things that I thought I wanted. So, what happens when I flip it? What happens when I decide to stop thinking that way? It's been amazing. And I am so excited about what's to come. I'm excited about all the things I've been working on. I'm excited about all the ideas that I've had when I take those limitations that I put on myself without even realizing it and throw them away. If you are stuck thinking you can only do this or that, if you can only have this or that, then that's something that you might want to look at and reframe into this and that. Sometimes it really is a priorities thing. We only have a finite amount of time. So, one, why do we spend it limiting ourselves? But two, sometimes you do have to make those tough decisions when you are understanding your values and understanding your priorities and understanding those things that are most important to you. It makes it easier to say, I want this and that, but I don't want any part of that. No, I'm going to say no to those things, but I'm going to say yes to these things. A long time ago, when I moved back to San Diego from Denver, and I was working from home, and it was before anyone was working from home, and I only knew like 3 people in San Diego. So I'd go to different coffee shops and work, and I started applying for jobs again because it was just too much. It was too hard to work from home at that time. In going to interviews, I realized that my mental ability to answer questions and talk to people, I felt like I had slowed down mentally because I was used to being home alone. I took an improv class, and that was the first time that I really heard about the yes and concept. And it's how you build on something else and how you improv and move back and forth with someone else in conversations and understanding ideas and building on top of that. No idea is ridiculous. You say yes and. And so as I started thinking about that and looking at that and saying, okay, I can be healthy and have a successful business. Yes, and in order to do that, I can do these things. That opens me up for all of these other areas. So, what is it in your life that you can say yes and to? I'll tell you what I did. It translated for me into saying, okay, I can scale down the things that I was doing and say no to the things that weren't serving me, that weren't aligned, that I am done with, and say yes and to the true priorities I have. I don't have to fill every moment of my time. I can pick the different areas in my life and in my business that I'm good at and say, I can do marketing, consulting, and I can do business coaching. I can help entrepreneurs become the best versions of themselves, become those business owners that they were always dreaming of being, and having those businesses that lived up to those goals and those expectations that they knew were possible, and still help people show up and grow, still help people understand how to connect with their audience. I can do those things, yes, and without spreading myself too thin anymore. And so, as I started thinking more and more about the idea of that and what I think is most important, I created the yes framework. You ready for the yes framework? Because it helps you embrace the and mindset. Here's what the yes framework is. It starts with you and honoring yourself and understanding that you can believe in possibility, that you can start with and grow from there. You don't have to be stuck with an or. We look at honoring you and clearing up your attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors that might be stopping you from embracing this way of thinking. Understanding your values that makes decisions easier. So when you say no, that's going to create that internal tension in me. You're stronger because it frees you up to say yes. You don't have to sit in that overwhelm and that muck and whatever it is that might be holding you back. You can say and keep going. After you understand and get rid of those things that are holding you back and clear that way for you to say yes to the things that will help you reach those goals that you want, to help you find joy and flow and ease in your business and your career. Then we look at the E and evolving your business. And that is where you look at really understanding what that and means. What are the goals that you thought were impossible because you were stuck over here? What are the things that you've wanted to do? And so, in doing so, you can look at how to better connect with people and your audience. If we reach this goal, this is what needs to happen to get there. There's no room for that. Or creates overwhelm or creates just that feeling of that tension. Erase it and use and. And you create that plan and you set your goals and what that looks like. And then after you honor yourself and you start with you and you go to evolve and what does that next level look like? That is where you create the spark for your passion, your purpose, your audience, and even your sales. And you start to look at what the daily steps are that you can do to show up and take consistent action. The spark is the doing. You might be saying, "Yes, and Kendra, that sounds like a lot." It's not. Pick one thing. Pick one thing. If you were gonna create an and plan, right? Every day since I started looking at it this way, and it's been pretty amazing at unlocking some of the overwhelm and removing some of the things that I was really struggling with and the beliefs that I was really struggling with. Let's look at if you create an and plan and say, for 1 week, give me 1 week. I'm going to try this out. I am going to implement and try out this and mindset. I'm going to use the yes framework to do so. Start once again by honoring yourself. You can set an affirmation saying that you're going to use the and mindset and say, I can be this and with that without compromising either. For me, I've been saying I can be healthy and I can run a successful business without compromising either. Both are strong and they're stronger because they're both there. Pick whatever it is you want, but create that affirmation and then feel it and feel how good it feels to say that. It's amazing. It is amazing when you stop thinking of something as either or and realize that you can have both, that you can be both. And then every day, set a check in. Like, notice the places in your life for 1 week where you might be thinking or. Reframe it. Ask yourself, what if that or is an and? What would have to happen such that I could make that an and? And ask yourself, what do I need to do for my well being today? What is it I can honor when I work in my business? And then when you look at evolve, what's your weekly goal? Choose a 1 week short term goal for personal or business. Make it smart so that it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Is it your offers? And then lastly, spark your purpose, passion, audience, and sales, right? Like, what does it take? What is that daily action step that you can take, that you can commit to for 1 week to test it out? So it could be as simple as posting something on social media or spending an hour on your passion project that you might not have thought possible before. It might be focusing on consistency. Okay, I'm going to do this every day of the week. Do it for a week and try it and see how it goes. I would love to hear from you if you're going to try it, what you're going to do, and how it goes. At the end of each one, reflect on what you accomplished, reflect on anything that's changed. Has the needle moved at all for you? What does that look like? What does that feel like? For me, it's getting back to my roots and writing every day and sharing this journey with you. I have traditionally, in the past, not been good about sharing the steps I'm taking to do these things. And so my commitment this week is that I can learn and I can share it before it's done, before I know it all. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's my commitment for you. Last year, I did live in July and I went live every single day of the month of July. This year, I'm getting back to my roots, my writing roots. That is what I'm going to be doing. What's yours? I'd love to hear from you. Share your feedback, share your thoughts, share and challenge. What did you end up doing? The world is full of possibilities and you are full of potential. What is it that you're going to do? I can't wait to see it. I am Kendra Losee, and this is the Invisible to Invincible podcast, where we help entrepreneurs and business owners, coaches, consultants, freelancers, executives become the business owner, become the leader that you always knew you could be. Until next time, be sure to like and subscribe.